Greetings and salutations, loyal crew. My name is Skipper the 14th, and welcome back to another episode of the Test of Time Metaseries. In the last episode, we took a little victory lap after winning Civ 5 using our massive oil reserves to create a huge tank army and roll over everybody. In this episode, we are going to wrap up Arabia's journey through the Test of Time series with Civ 6. If we were playing this before the leader pass dropped, then we would just have one leader to choose from. That would be Saladin here. However, since the leader pass has dropped, we have another leader to choose from, that being Saladin. This is the persona system that we discussed during the England series, where one leader has two separate abilities that reflect different parts of their reign and different things that they're famous for. We have Vizier Saladin, who was the original Saladin, and if you don't have the leader pass, he would be the version you have. The worship building for your religion is 90% off for anyone, so not just you, but for anyone else who has their religion in your city. Your religion in their city, they can buy the worship building for 90% off, and if you have this worship building in your city, then that gives you 10% extra science, faith, and culture in your city. So, nice ability, not amazing, and the little caveat that the worship building can be purchased by anyone for 90% off doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, because that kind of incentivizes you to spread your religion to everyone else, but you don't get anything for having your building in their cities, and having that discount doesn't make them more likely to keep your religion in their city or anything like that. It's just this weird incentive that isn't actually an incentive. They get something for having your religion in their city, but you don't get anything for it in return. It's weird. And Sultan Saladin, who was added as a separate persona in the leader pass, his ability is much simpler and very different. He gets double flanking and support bonuses to all combat and religious units. So, quick overview: flanking bonus is when you have two units adjacent to an enemy unit. If either of those units attack the enemy unit, they will get a combat bonus on the attack, because you're essentially doing a pincer maneuver. So that bonus is doubled for Sultan Saladin, and likewise the support bonus. If your unit is being attacked by an enemy unit and your unit has a friendly unit next to it, doesn't necessarily have to be next to the attacking unit, it just has to be next to the unit that's being attacked, it gets a combat bonus when being attacked, and that bonus is also doubled. So you are incentivized to basically keep your army in a huge ball and just roll over everybody with it. So onto Arabia's specific uniques. Their Arabia's ability automatically receive the final great prophet when the next last one is claimed. I think that's fairly straightforward. This means that if you missed out on all of the great prophets, then no matter how many great prophet points anyone else is making, you get the last one, and you get it instantly once the player picks the one that's second to last. This is a good thing because it guarantees your religion and makes sure that you'll always have one no matter what, and you don't necessarily have to rush for it. However, this comes with the caveat that if you do rely on getting your free great prophet, you're going to end up with a pretty mediocre religion, because chances are, especially if you're playing multiplayer, although if you're playing multiplayer, you're probably playing with a mod that changes how Arabia works anyway, but if you're playing multiplayer without mods, then you're definitely going to end up with a pretty crappy religion, because all the good stuff's going to get taken before you, because no two religions can have the same beliefs. So it's kind of do you care more about having the religion, or do you want to make sure your religion is good? So, and you also get one science for every foreign city following your religion. That's a pittance, really. It's, unless you have even if you have 100 cities that are not yours following your religion, then chances are you're probably already on the track to winning earlier. You already have so much science and culture from other stuff that extra 100 doesn't really matter. So it's just a little bit of frosting on top of the tiny mini cupcake you got at the work ice cream social. It's nothing major, but it is all right. It's an okay ability. It's not great, but it's okay. The unique unit, the Mamluk, much like all the other Arabian unique units, is a replacement of the Knight. Its ability is that it heals at the end of every turn, no matter what it does. So if it runs all the way across the map, if it rams its face into a wall, if it sits there doing nothing, it's always going to get a little bit of health back at the end of every turn. That sounds good until you realize that in enemy territory, if to take one of those examples, if your Mamluk just rammed its head into an enemy city, then it's only going to be healing 5 HP. So you really want something alongside your Mamluk, like the great scientist Al-Khwarizmi, who acts like a medic and increases healing by 20 HP to any unit next to him that's healing, or an apostle with the chaplain promotion does the same thing. If you have either of those, then your Mamluk will be healing 25 HP per turn in enemy territory, which is more than he would be healing without either of those bonuses in your city center. So that's already bigger than what you could get without it. And if you have both of them, they stack and you can get 45 HP healed per turn. Now that is crazy. So you can make your Mamluks pretty crazy, but you have to have you have to get kind of lucky, because you have to get that one specific great scientist. There's no other great person without mods that does that. And you also have to kind of get lucky with the promotions, because there's no guarantee, unless Yervin is in the game, which itself is not guaranteed, that you can get chaplain on an apostle. So it's like you can make it pretty crazy. It takes a lot of effort, and without that extra effort, it's basically just a knight. Like, it has the same stats. It's not any stronger. It's not any cheaper. It's not any faster. It doesn't earn more experience. It's just like, it's all the same things as a knight, except it automatically heals every turn no matter what it does. It's almost a side grade, but it is like technically better because it's the same thing as a knight but with a little bit extra. But that little bit extra is like, you really have to put in a lot of effort to make that like really good. And you have a kind of a narrow window to make that good, because once it upgrades into a cuirassier, it loses that ability, so it's back to just being a normal unit. So, and then finally, their unique building is the Madrasa. It replaces the university. I believe it's available earlier. We'll see when we get into the game. I believe it's available at theology rather than at education. And it gives you faith equal to your adjacency bonus on your campus district, which is fine. It doesn't really do anything else. It only gives you like a lot of faith if you make sure that all of your campuses have high adjacency, which you should be doing, but you can't always guarantee. And it's giving you extra faith, which as a someone whose kit is focused around religion, you're probably going to have a lot of faith anyway. So like, if you're taking, for example, if you're using the Righteousness of the Faith version and you want that 10% science, faith, and culture in all of your cities, you're going to have A, your religion in all of your cities, and B, you're going to have a holy site in all of your cities. So you're already going to be making a lot of faith. Even a holy site that has no adjacency bonuses, you're going to be getting a lot of faith from the shrines, the temples, and the worship building itself, and then that extra bonus with from the ability. So you're already probably going to be making a lot of faith. So that extra faith from the Madrasa doesn't really seem all that substantial. So they have a lot of... Arabia is a civ that sounds really good on paper, but in practice, they're really not that exciting. Like, they're not like bad. Their ability doesn't hurt you like Mbemba Nzinga of the Congos does. That leaves the question of which version of Saladin do we play as. Going over what victories we've gotten so far in the Civ 6 series. We've gotten a domination victory as England, we got a science victory as Rome, and we got a culture victory as France. Now that leaves a diplomatic victory, a religious victory, and a score victory. Now I don't really count the score victory as like a valid, it's like something to shoot for, so we're just gonna kind of take that out of the conversation right now. So that leaves diplomatic and religious victories. Now Saladin would be pretty suited to a religious victory because you can be guaranteed a religion. I personally hate doing a religious victory, and I think most Civ 6 players would agree that a religious victory is like one of the most boring and tedious victories to go for, just because there's not much to it. Like, the only strategy really is plonking down a holy site in every city, cranking as much faith as you can, and just spamming out apostles and just flooding the world with them. So there's just like not much to it. There's no real nuance. There's really only one way to do it, and that one way is also really boring. Because unlike in a conquest victory where you are, spamming out units, you need to have like at least some consideration for what units you're using, and you also get the enemy cities so you can kind of snowball with it. But with a religious victory, you don't gain the cities that you convert, you don't gain ownership of them, you just spread your religion to them. So like there also isn't like that snowball that you get with the domination. So it's just very boring. Diplomatic victory is also not a great victory to go for because it's very RNG. Like, it doesn't seem like it is, but it is, because most of the diplomatic points you're going to get are from the Congress. And in order to get the points from the Congress, you have to correctly predict what the AI is going to vote for. If you vote on a resolution in such a way that the way you voted is the way that wins, you get a point. So let's say the resolution is like the the military policy one, or whatever it's called. The one where you pick a class of unit to get a buff or a debuff. So if you pick to buff melee units, and like the end result is that melee units are buffed, then you get a point. But if you pick to buff melee units and heavy cavalry gets buffed, you don't get a point. And if you pick to buff melee units and a unit gets debuffed, then you don't get any points either. So it's like you have to get it exactly or else you don't get any credit. There's also 6 points locked behind 2 wonders, Mahabodhi Temple and Statue of Liberty. So if you want to be competitive, you really want to build those 2 because they save you some time. And then chances are it's going to take until like near the end of the game to get, unless you like really nail every single prediction and get both of those 2 wonders, you're probably gonna like last until the game starts throwing in the resolution where you can give 2 points or take away 2 points from a player. And if you have, I believe it's 15 or above points, like when that goes through, every AI will vote to take points away from you. So it's like, in that circumstance, the most you can get from that round is 1 point. 2 for getting the other 2 resolutions correctly. Then you get 1 point for correctly voting to take away 2 points from you. So you get 3 points, but that you lose 3 points, so you only net 1 point from that when you could have netted 4. At least with a diplomatic victory, you could get a monopoly on diplomatic favor by like hoarding all of the city-states and getting wonders that increase your diplomatic favor and going monarchy and building Renaissance walls everywhere. Like, if you stockpile all the diplomatic favor in the world and make sure no one else gets any, then you can, in theory, force your resolutions through and guarantee your points. So in that way, it is like better than the religious victory because like there is a way you can kind of guarantee yourself victory. At the same time, only through the World Congress that you can win. Even if you get those 2 wonders, you still have to like correctly guess at least 14 different resolutions, so 7 different passes. So you have to play the game for long enough for seven different meetings to go through, and you can't win any other way. No one else can win any other way before that happens. So it's just like, it's not very interactive. It's just, my thinking is that we stick to the 3 quote-unquote fun ones, being culture, domination, and science, because those are, at least to me, a bit more interactive, a bit more interesting. My philosophy is that if I'm having fun and if I'm invested in the game, then you're gonna enjoy the video more, because if I'm bored, if I'm complaining, if I'm dragging on, then you're not going to want to watch it. So that leaves us with domination, culture, and science. And my thinking was that we pick Sultan Saladin with his flanking and support bonuses, and we go for a domination victory. Now, we have already done one of each victory, so no matter which one we do, we'll be treading familiar ground. However, our domination victory that we got as England was on a water map using primarily navy units. We did have to use a few land and military units to clean up some inland capitals on that map, but we focused primarily on naval combat and on naval units. This game, I'm thinking, why don't we do a domination victory but focused on land combat and land units? So instead of playing on an archipelago map, we'll be playing on a Pangea map. And we can better leverage this bonus because A, I think it's a little better than the increased yields, and B, I think this one gets a little overlooked. I think it's like easy to kind of look at that and be like, meh. But if you play your cards right, then you can get some pretty good mileage out of this. So with all that out of the way, let us proceed. All right. That's an interesting start. You know what? Heck with it. Let's roll with it. Let's not waste a whole bunch of time being picky and re-rolling to find an amazing start. Let's just go with this one that's probably good enough. As for research, let's start with animal husbandry because we have the truffles and we might find some horses. As usual, start with 2 scouts. Yeah, so I do want to use the Mamluks. I do want to try at least using, apostles with chaplain, with the chaplain promotion to increase the healing factor of our Mamluks and, give them more of an edge in combat. The question becomes whether or not I want to wait until we get 2 Mamluks before I start doing some conquest, or if I want to try and push some early wars. And we do at least want to wait until we get, I believe, some military tradition here, because this is what unlocks the flanking and support bonuses in general. So if you don't have this civic, you don't get those bonuses at all. So we do have to at least wait until that before we do any conquest. Well, I'm getting a lot of... Oh, Jerusalem, hello. Nice faith city-state. That'll 5 faith. Did I get a... Oh yeah, I got a relic from one of these goodie hats. I didn't even like notice. I was too busy explaining something else. Yeah, we got this. Okay. I was like, oh, the Jerusalem. That'll help us get an early Pantheon. I check on my faith return. I'm getting 5. I'm like, wait a second. That's not right. Okay, so that's a pretty good start. And we've got a lot of rainforest around us. So we could go for the Sacred Path Pantheon if we're a little lucky. It might require a little luck. We'll see. But otherwise, I don't see a lot of opportunities for very high faith holy site spots. And Akkad, you are... Yes, melee anti-cavalry attacks do full damage to city walls. Oh, that is very good. And we got first meet with them as well, so... that's another good... That's a good city-state if you're doing a domination victory, because that lessens your need for siege units when attacking cities. So now, I believe I'll go pottery, because... then I can settle a city near this wheat and get the Eureka for irrigation, because we have a few plantation resources around us. We have some coffee and some bananas and some cotton. Some cotton, excuse me. Okay, we do get Sacred Path. That is good. Oh, and we're the first person to get a Pantheon. Anyway, so no matter what we wanted, we were guaranteed. Now, I'm just gonna go straight for settler. Gonna be a little greedy. Settle over here, get this wheat so we can get that Eureka for irrigation. I would very much like to find a natural wonder, because that would give us the Eureka towards astrology, but if we don't get one soon, I'm just gonna hard research astrology without it, because we want our holy sites up. We still want our holy sites up ASAP, even with our guaranteed religion, because we want to guarantee that we get the beliefs we want, not get stuck with something mediocre. I'm going to finish scouting this turn. Okay, we met Yerevan. Like, this is... we are getting... well, aside, like, Jerusalem isn't necessarily that exciting, but we got 2 very good city-states. We got Yerevan. This will allow us to pick any promotion when promoting our apostles. So we can guarantee getting a chaplain apostle. So I'm just going to go for astrology now, because I don't want to wait too long to get our holy site up. Especially since I have a really good one right here. That's a good +4 right off the rip. And I got another +4 right here, so we can settle a city somewhere over here, maybe even here, and put the... it'll be a little tight, but put a city there, get that holy site, and over here. I was thinking about putting one city here to get the wheat for the Eureka, and then we could... I could put a holy site here. That'd be oh, that's a +3. That would also be a +3. Let's see. Yeah, I think a +3 is the best we're gonna do in the... actually, no, we can put a +4 there as well. That one will take a while to get to, but we want this city primarily for the wheat. Just trying to find like other potential city spots while I'm in planning mode. Oh, here's a +5 holy site. Look at that. That's tasty. Let's see. I don't see a lot of reefs on this coast for like a really good campus site, unfortunately. Yeah, not a lot of good campus sites on this map. Sadly, I could get a decent one here, +3 with the 2 districts and the reef. Maybe plonk like a government plaza here, get that to +4. What would a harbor look like here? That would only be +2. Okay, so that would be very exciting. Okay, so for this holy site, where do I want to put the city itself? I don't want to put the city on any of these rainforest tiles, because then we'll lose one of the an adjacency point on the city on the holy site. I'm thinking put this city here, so then we can put a nice harbor there, at least a +3, you know. Actually, hold on. Yeah, I don't want to put the city too far away from the holy site where I want to put the holy site, but I could get a +4 +4 harbor here, which would be good. Yeah, I don't think I could get a decent harbor here. I don't think this would be a good campus. Yeah, that'll only be +1. Yeah, all right, we can plan more in depth later. I'm just throwing out some thoughts. So yeah, we don't want to go to war until we get Miltrad here fully researched. And since I generally turn barbarians off because I find them too much of a pain, we're just gonna have to hard research that unless we get the bonus for free from a goodie hut or something. There's a lot of horses over here. It's a shame that our unique unit doesn't technically use them, it uses iron instead. Alright, for Kyra, I am going to build a builder, try to get the bonus for craftsmanship. There we go. There is Pantanal. It's a bit far away for me to consider settling near it, probably. But chances are someone else will settle near there, and, excuse me, we can I can just take it from them then. I think I'll start on irrigation. Ah, someone built Great Bath already. It's turned 20. AI certainly loves that thing. You are going to Century. Oh, we met another city-state, Candy. Oh, if only we'd met... Well, we would have to have become suzerain of them. Holy crap, look at all these city-states. So, have we first met all of them? Because we've got 4 from our relic, and that'd leave with 3 more. So have we first met... Yeah, we first met 3 of 4 of the Faith city-states. There are 4 of them. Holy crap, we're going to be swimming in Faith this game. We also met Kumasi, who's very nice. I think just in general, because trading with city-states, especially if you have Visselbanken and the democracy government, is very profitable. I swear this always happens that whenever I want to go for a domination game, the game always spawns me as far away from any potential targets as possible. Because unless there's someone like right here, which doesn't seem likely considering we first met Yerevan, and we also first met Candy, so there's probably not anyone down here. So, oh yeah, there's someone right here. So, we have quite a lot of space to ourselves before we really need to consider expanding. So, and that's Hungary. You're a weird color today, Hungary, but it's probably because I'm very similar to what you normally have. I'm going to swap over to craftsmanship, and here in Cairo, I'm going to plonk down that holy site. And over here, Jeddah. I'm just going to buy a builder, so we've got a lot of money, and oh yeah, Jeddah's too far away to be able to put that holy site down. Oh, I could put wood here? Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, yeah. Oh no, the 2 rainforests and then the 2 forests. So as long as Jerusalem doesn't chop down that woods, which it probably won't, then we can get a +3 here in Jeddah. But I'm going to start Jeddah on a monument. Get a little bit of extra culture. Helps. Ooh, Mapuche. They're a tough opponent in a domination game because they get huge combat bonuses against players who are in a golden age. So, and if you're in a domination game, you tend to get a lot of golden ages because, you know, wiping out other players and especially converting players you're at war with tends to get you a lot of era score. So war tends to get you a lot of era score. So he's going to be a tough opponent. We'll probably save him either for last when we have like a significant technological advantage over him. Even then, that might not necessarily be enough. Or we wait until we get into a normal or dark age somehow and just attack him then. John Girton, another tough opponent in a domination game, because if you attack him, then he gets bonus production in all of his cities. He gets, I think, double production for 10 turns if he gets war declared on him. Also, he's just a bit of a bastard in general. For someone who purportedly hates war, he's quite the warmonger. I think it's probably because... Oh, he got Stonehenge too. Look at that. So, we're not getting first pick of religion, even though we got first Pantheon, and we're probably going to be the first person to get a holy site up. He's still going to beat us to it because he got Stonehenge, but he still has to have a holy site to spread his religion, so very interestingly shaped Pangaea we've got going on so far here. Oh, looks like we got a pretty nasty choke point going up to Australia as well. Sorry, I'm not like trying to find reasons to complain here. I'm just making observations on things we will have to consider when we go for our plays. See, after Cairo gets its holy site up, we're gonna want a shrine. Then I'm probably gonna go for some more settlers. Let's see. I think I want bronze working so we can start chopping down a few of these rainforests that might be in the way of other districts we have planned. Man, Hungary's wasting no time getting his cities out. He's got 2 cities already, and I saw... Does he have 2 cities? Yeah, okay, so... It looks like he has a 3rd one down here, and then I saw another settler, so... Here we go. Oh no, that's just his 1 city sticking out really far. I'm just gonna buy the shrine so we get the ticking great profit points. I'm gonna buy another settler. We've got several luxuries nearby. We've got a lot of good amenities to cover early expansion, so we can be a little greedy. And the better our economy is when we start planning and preparing our conquests, then the better chance we'll have once it launches. I think our first target is probably going to be Hungary. I keep wanting to call him Germany for some reason, just because he's really the closest. I think in terms of how the crow flies, Australia would be closer, but we would have to probably go through Mapuche to get to him because, first of all, there's this, you know, rather large gulf here. Then we have Akkad on kind of this narrow land bridge. So unless we become suzerain of Akkad, which is not out of the question. But the question then also becomes, when do we want to start our wars? Do we want to go early? Do we want to like do a swordsman rush, or do we want to wait until our unique unit? Either of the strategies would require iron, so they would all be predicated on how much iron we can get. I think the first city-state I want to become friends with here is Jerusalem, and I think I'm going to have just enough. I'm going to buy a trader, send them a trade route, and become their suzerain. Even though we're still a ways away from actually getting apostles, it would be nice to get that bonus as soon as possible. Yeah, let's swap in a Gogi, though not necessarily building any units yet. Oh, and there's Maori, who are just an asshole in general. Oh my god, look at that. He just forward settled John Curtin like crazy. That's oddly fitting considering how close, New Zealand, the Maori who, are native to New Zealand are to Australia in general. Then again, Australia and New Zealand are actually a lot farther apart than they seem on most maps. They're like 1,000 miles apart from each other or something like that. It's like the distance between Australia and New Zealand is like the distance between London and Morocco. It's like a lot bigger than it looks on most map projections. There we go. There's Yerevan suzerain, and that gets us... Well, I think we actually already had a golden age because that gives us 2 points. Yeah, they gave us 2 points, so we already had a golden age. So we definitely don't want to attack Mapuche next era because we're going to be in a golden age, and that means he'll get a massive combat bonus against us. Like, his bonus is big enough that even technological superiority isn't enough to guarantee victory. Okay, so in our immediate vicinity, it looks like we have one source of iron, which is not great. There isn't a lot anywhere else, like, easily accessible. So that is a trouble. That is a concern. We could, in theory... I think we're a bit too far away to get away with a heavy chariot rush, because by the time we mass up a huge army of chariots and march them all the way over here, he might have walls, and Akkad doesn't give cavalry units bonus against walls. So I think what we'll do is... Well, we definitely want to go after Hungary first, because he's got a lot of iron near him. So if we want to use a lot of iron in our military, which if we're going to use our unique unit, we do, and if we want to use the Akkad's bonuses, we do, then we're probably going to want to take him out first. I suppose what we could do is build up a huge army of spearmen, get Akkad as our little suzerain, and take him out that way. Let's go for masonry to get battering rams, because I think I'm going to try to go for an early rush against... Well, maybe it would be better suited to wait until we can fill in this area, because if we go after Hungary, we're gonna have a huge gap between our homeland and our new conquest that we're gonna have to fill in eventually. So I don't know why I'm making such a big deal about this. I think, you know what? No, let's go for that early rush. Let's just be aggressive. Let's get a few cities of our own out first, because the more cities we have, then the more units we can make. The more quickly we can make a whole bunch of units, because we have more cities to make the units out of. Oh, I can get +4 here, right, because of the 2 woods tiles. Alright, no, Jeddah doesn't really have a lot of production. Why are you working that tile? The Empire. That was for... Yeah, I think the general here is a pretty obvious first choice, because we get 2 free melee units in our capital when we pick him. Then any unit we build in a city he's stationed in will get a free promotion. Then we get extra combat strength, cheaper encampments. Oh, an extra flanking bonus. We definitely have to pick up the general at some point, but I don't know if he's necessarily the best first pick, because ideally I would like to wait until we get swordsmen, because then we can get 2 free swordsmen without having to spend the iron it takes to make them. If we pick him now, we get 2 free warriors, and then we would have to spend the iron to upgrade them into swordsmen, whereas if we pick him when we have a lot swordsmen, we get them for free. So I'm thinking we actually pick the ambassador here, stick him in Akkad. Actually, yeah, let's not stick him in Akkad. No, yeah. It'll be a while before we get another trade route we can send to Akkad, so let's not worry too much about that. It'll definitely be more than 7 turns before we can get another trade route to send to Akkad. Alright. This guy over here. Buy that tile with the iron on it. Start working on a builder to improve it, so that we can get the boost for ironworking. Then once we get ironworking and another governor title, we can pick the general. Oh yeah. Curtain's already got walls in Canberra, probably because Coupe's scared him being so close to him. I'll start research on ironworking. Do I have writing yet? I think I do. Yeah. Let's check Cairo. Yeah, okay. Then I think once Cairo gets enough pop to build another district, I'll start work on the campus, because we're also going to want some science. I think that goes without saying. Okay, so we definitely want monumentality. Making a lot of faith. We want to expand quickly. Goes without saying. Alright, let's just hold off on that governor title until we get ironworking researched. Let's build a granary here, get some extra food and housing to grow with. Mecca, you start working on a holy site. We'll buy you a builder. With all this faith we've got. Yes. I know I have a governor title game. I'm saving it. Oh, there's a meteor site over there. You get a free chariot if we walk on that before anyone else does. I'm thinking I would also like to build the statue of Zeus, because that'll get us a bunch of free units, as well as I don't know where it's unlocked. I think it's military. It's military tradition, right? No, where's the statue of Zeus? Military training here. 3 archers, 3 spearmen, and a battering ram. Get 50% production towards anti-cavalry units. Oh yeah, and I was right. The Madrasa's unlocked at theology. We do get it earlier, which is nice. And João of Portugal. Is that everybody on the map? No. Pretty sure I picked Pangaea, didn't I? Could have sworn. This doesn't seem like a Pangaea. Like, I can see there's still a whole lot of map left over here, but I don't see how it connects by land. I'm gonna be annoyed if I picked continents by accident. Yeah, that's fine. Here's a cod. Alright, you just sit tight then, I guess. Oh, looks like someone nabbed that meteor crash site. Yeah, well, thanks for building all those wonders so that I can take them later. So what am I doing? Should be researching military tradition. Now, even though we are going in a warlike direction, and for a first war we are going to be using melee and anti-cavalry units predominantly, I still think we want to go for Classical Republic as our first government, because later on in the game we're probably going to want the extra housing and amenity that the legacy card will give us. Plus, the extra housing and amenity will give us an early boost to our economy, which will make creating a large army to push with easier. Just go for caravanseries, I guess. Okay, so it looks like we got a narrow land bridge over here. So that might open up some avenues to go to after we take out Hungary. Ooh, a free pop somewhere. Looks like a Jeddah, because Jeddah was at 5. Monument, I guess. Start work on that at least. Then, once Cairo hits pop 4 next turn, we switch over to starting the campus. Shut up! I don't give a crap. I'm going to destroy you soon anyway. Alright, now that we've finished ironworking, now we pop the general. And I think I'm going to put him in Jeddah, because I would like to build the... Yeah, there we go. Now we got 2 free swordsmen, like I said. I would like to build the statue of Zeus here. And I believe that will make all of the units that spawns have 1 promotion. It might not, but at the very least, that will be where I build the encampment, which is where I will want to build all of our military units. Okay, so did I accidentally click continents when I wanted a Pangaea? Ah, man, if so, well, we'll see. We will find out. Do something a little cheeky. I'm going to beeline for military training here, and then I was thinking I could beeline military training, then use the statue of Zeus to get the inspiration for drama poetry, then work my way down to theology. Now I'm going to build encampment here in Jeddah, and for our religion, let's just go for the historical choice. So for our first belief, our founder belief here, I think the obvious choice is work ethic, because we got our Sacred Path Pantheon. We can pretty easily get reasonably high adjacency bonuses on our holy sites, so they'll give us a lot of extra production, both for our economy and for building extra military units. And then for our next belief, since I'm going to hold off on researching theology, I'm actually going to go ahead and just get Crusade. This will give us 10 combat strength when fighting in foreign cities that have our religion in them. So we can spread our religion to a city, then attack it, and we'll get extra combat strength. Alright, what's a little bit of historical irony for Saladin being the one to start perform a crusade, when in reality he was the target of one. With that, I think that is a really decent place to stop this episode. We've got our religion up. We have our plan for who we're going to attack next and how we're going to do it. We've got a few units already. We're probably going to train up a few more. We are kind of bottlenecked by our one source of iron, but with the 6 free units we'll get from Statue of Zeus, I think that should hopefully be enough. Plus, any few more we can train in the meantime. So we're going to go after Hungary to secure the sources of iron, as well as 2 natural wonders, which would be nice, and also prevent him from competing with us for all the city-states we want to be friends with. Then, if we want to go after anyone else, we're probably going to have to go through Mapuche, because he kind of covers the best path to this upper half of the continent. Unless we can kind of swoop in through here to Portugal, in which case we'll go after him next. And we also still have to figure out if I actually picked Pangaea or if I accidentally picked continents, or if it's just a really weird shaped Pangaea that makes me think I picked continents until we find the one land bridge. Anyway, in the next episode, we are going to continue building up our economy, and that will probably be the episode we attack Hungary. If not, it will definitely be the episode after that, and then the snowball will begin, and you will see it live in action. So, if you like what you saw, please feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Doing all those things tells the magic YouTube algorithm, guys, that you like what I do and you want more people to see it. And if you want to support the channel more directly, I also have a Ko-fi page where for as little as $1 a month, you can gain access to exclusive interactions with me on the Ko-fi page and help direct the future of the channel. Although if you don't want to or can't, don't worry, there's no obligation. It's just something you can do if you would like. And as always, be good, stay safe, and I'll see you all next time.